Polynesian Paralysis, the sensible approach to mindfulness. In this video, we will review the book Hawaii, the Sugar-Coated Fortress by Francine du Plessix Gray, published in 1972. This book was recognized by the Newswomen's Club of New York and received the Front Page Award. Francine grew up in New York City and earned a BA degree in philosophy from Barnard College in 1952. Francine worked as a reporter, editorial assistant, freelance writer, and book editor for about 15 years until she landed a job with the New Yorker magazine as a staff writer in 1968. In 1957, she married the artist Cleve Gray, and they had 2 sons. In addition to her many articles and books that she wrote, she also enjoyed spending time painting with her husband in their art studio in Connecticut. It was while Cleve Gray was the artist in residence at Honolulu Academy of Art in 1970 that Miss Gray, as she preferred to be called, gathered the information for her book about Hawaii. It should be noted that the material in the book about Hawaii first appeared as articles in the New Yorker magazine prior to being published as a book. Her book about Hawaii takes a hard look at the history of the Hawaiian Islands and how they became part of the United States, which is a complex and often dark story. Many people today only think of Hawaii as a tropical paradise and are unaware of the various groups or forces that arrived in Hawaii in the 1800s and systematically worked to overthrow the Hawaiian kingdom, despite the fact that the Hawaiian Islands were formally recognized as an independent nation by the United States, England, France, and many other countries in the mid-1800s. The outside forces which led to the military coup by the U.S. Marines in 1893 were the New England missionaries who tried to convert the Hawaiians to Christianity and Western culture, the businessmen who focused on acquiring land for crops, mainly sugar, the military leaders who wanted a strategic military base in the Pacific at Pearl Harbor, and the non-Hawaiian political leaders who wanted to govern and control the islands. Miss Gray's book about Hawaii is not so much a history of the islands, it is more an in-depth look at life in Hawaii in the 1970s, about 12 years after Hawaii became the 50th state. She reveals how the many different cultures, Hawaiian, American, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, Samoan, and others, have adapted to life in Hawaii as part of the United States. Despite all that the Hawaiian people have endured over the last 200 years, they remain a proud and friendly people, reflecting the aloha spirit of their culture. On page 11 of her book, Miss Gray includes the mention of Polynesian paralysis. She is interviewing a visiting professor from the mainland who is teaching at the University of Hawaii in Honolulu. The professor, a visitor to Hawaii, is perplexed. Some of his Japanese students are trying hard to get good grades, but for the rest, you can't get them off the beach, he says. The professor blames the lack of attention to academic study on Polynesian paralysis. He goes on to note that there is a growing resentment towards the white mainland foreigners, but it's hard to get the students organized to protest when they are at the beach all the time. Miss Gray goes on to describe how the Hawaiian lifestyle and culture was never tainted by the Calvinistic work ethic, devoid of the individualistic profit-making drives that have brought our world to the edge of disaster, enjoying a leisure without guilt, living in tribal communes that have been traditional for them for centuries. The Hawaiians may be providing a prophetic clue to the way of life for the 21st century. As we discussed in the previous video, Polynesian paralysis is not being lazy. Polynesian paralysis is the ability to have a healthy work-life balance where you can work together for communal benefit in harmony with nature so everyone can enjoy life. Polynesian paralysis allows you to take time each day to be still, relax, appreciate nature, and enjoy life. This video has been brought to you by RX Aloha, the makers of the original Polynesian paralysis pills. For more information about Polynesian paralysis, please visit our website at rxaloha.com or listen to the Polynesian Paralysis Podcast on your favorite streaming platform. Polynesian Paralysis, the sensible approach to mindfulness.